morning, KT. Hey, Pat. Good morning, everyone. Peace and love, everybody. A lot of birds out there today. Hey, J. David. Namaste and peace from the snow-blanketed, drizzly coast of beautiful Maine. Hi, Ken. Bet you're socked in up there, Ken, like Wendy is over in Vermont. So, welcome to Not Church. Mysticism, East and West. We're a community of mystics, of seekers, of all types of NDEers and mystical experiencers, all of us on a journey. And today's title is Pentecost and Awakening, Mystical Experiences and Divine Energy. And next Sunday, I believe we're going to conclude our extensive and in-depth examination of the Syriac Church's collection of the Aramaic language Gospels, known as the Peshitta, in the book Revelations of the Aramaic Jesus, the hidden teachings of life and death by the esteemed Dr. Neil Douglas-Klotz, to whom I am eternally grateful for his work. What a brilliant man. And after we finish, drum roll please, by popular request, we'll commence our long-awaited in-depth study of the Gospel of the Beloved Companion. The Gospel of the Beloved Companion, also AKA, also known as the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. And I'm going to utilize original translations and insights of leading scholars viewed through the lens of mystical Jesus, as we've come to know and love, as well as through the lens and the perspective of near-death experience. And I want to thank everybody. Woohoo, Mary Magdalene. Yeah, thank you for that input. It was a lots of people wanted to talk about that. So that's what we're going to do next. And I sure appreciate that kind of input. I'm very open to input, so let me know. So today we're briefly going to explore the book of Acts of the Apostles, presumably authored by the same hand, or more likely hands, as the Gospel of Luke. But our perspective will be through the mystically rich Aramaic language, because it's not just the Gospels in Aramaic and the Peshitta, it's also all the other books. So we're going to look at it through the Aramaic language. And next week, it's an announcement, and next week, the Awakening Beyond Life Summit. The Awakening Beyond Life Summit. And I'm excited to be a speaker, and this is the blurb that I was sent, and I'm going to read it to you. Join 14 extraordinary spiritual experts, near-death experiencers, psychics, and mediums as we share our first-hand encounters with the beyond and reveal the profound wisdom, healing, and transformation they encountered. The Awakening Beyond Life Summit is an opportunity to explore near-death and out-of-body experiences, learn messages from spirit through world-renowned psychics and mediums, trust your awakening, and navigate these changes, these changing times with ease. And the dates are April 3rd through the 5th, next week, and they're online. You can watch from anywhere. They're free for a limited time, and you can find the link in the description. You can find, I don't know where the description is. It's somewhere. It's with the video. I'm not sure which way I should point, but you can find it. It's awakeningbeyondlife.com, and it's free to sign up. Reserve your space now. So, hi Sharon, you signed up for it the minute you got it. Nice. All right, so I'm a speaker. I think I'm on the 3rd of April. Anyway, let's take a moment to be present to spirit, capital S, to spirit, by using our breath to connect to our bodies and souls, as we've been talking about for months through the Aramaic Jesus, mystical Jesus studies that we've been doing. Pray or meditate for a few breaths centered on your heart chakra. Open our hearts to the beloved. Okay. Oh, thanks for signing up, KT. All right, so let's take a few breaths together. Connecting our bodies and our souls. Praying with the birds there. Thank you. I'm going to turn them down now. Love them, but I'm turning them down. Imagine a moment, alive, vibrant, and filled with wonder, where wind becomes breath, breath becomes spirit, and spirit becomes flame. This vivid scene is described in Acts 2:1-4, known as Pentecost, a mystical moment reflecting profound spiritual experiences shared among people across cultures and languages. And it occurs 50 days after the crucifixion, resurrection of Jesus, depending upon which gospel you're reading, when that happened. Pentecost means 50th. So it's built right in there. 50th. It's the 50th day after. And in Luke 24:49, before his death, Yeshua Jesus shared this mystical interpretation. He said, "Look deeply. I send forth into your being the sacred promise of the infinite source. Yet remain in inner stillness, dwell patiently in your heart, and stay in the city until you are enfolded and illuminated by the radiant power descending from the eternal." And that's a translation you probably didn't hear in church growing up. But Jesus is telling them to stay in the city, and he's going to send the divine energy to them, the radiant, illuminating power. Now, imagine this: a cozy upper room in Jerusalem, filled with Yeshua's disciples, gathered for the Jewish festival of Shavuot, also known as the Feast of Weeks. And they were present because Jesus had instructed them to wait until they received the powerful presence known as, in the Aramaic, as the Ruha, the Quadsha, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of Holiness, or the sacred breath. And picture a gentle yet powerful wind blowing through an open window, swirling softly around each person seated in meditation. Ruha in Aramaic, as we know, translates to breath, wind, spirit, and life force. So this is a metaphorical story of something that happened. And it parallels the concepts and experiences such as prana and Shakti in Sanskrit, chi in Chinese, and pneuma in Greek, all of which refer to an invisible yet vital energy that connects and sustains life, that divine love woven into the very substance of all existence. Quadsha means holiness or sacredness from the Aramaic, suggesting something set apart, special, or divine. And together, Ruha da Quasha signifies a sacred, life-giving energy. This life-giving energy, the very core of our being, the golden speck of light inside us, in the center of ourselves, that gives us life, that sometimes emerges and touches us. And maybe you've experienced this energy. Maybe it's risen up. Maybe you felt it in your hands. Maybe it's descended on you. And what did it feel like to you? Take a moment, think about that. What did it feel like to you? What does it feel like to you? And maybe you want to comment on that. So in that upper room moment, the disciples experienced something remarkable. A mighty breath filled the space, bringing an ecstatic sense of connection upward and across and among, and above each person's head. And maybe they could see it, but surely they felt it. and saw it from their inner eye. Above each person's head appeared tongues of flame or letters of flame, the Dinuhara in the Aramaic, letters, sparks of radiant energy, symbolizing spiritual awakening, but symbolizing in the language we're using, but actually giving them this experience in the moment that this happens to them, collectively in a group. And maybe visualize these small glowing flames resting softly above each person's head, right up here. Glowing flames softly resting, illuminating, radiating from their faces gently and warmly, like the crown of Brahman. You can picture your crown of glory. There's all sorts of paintings of this in Orthodox churches. All the saints, all the apostles, they all have an aura around their heads in the paintings. Same in Buddhism. The festival of Shavuot was originally celebrated as a wheat harvest, expressing gratitude for abundance, and there comes an abundance of the Spirit to them. And later, it also commemorated the moment when Moses received the sacred teachings, the Torah, from YHWH, from the Havye Vovye, from the name, the word that means to be, that is unpronounceable, unspeakable. It means to exist, to become. The unspeakable divine name, the I am beingness, the YHWH, on Mount Sinai. And Pentecost intentionally aligns with Shavuot and these previous, well, no, they're current still, these meanings, they link to this on purpose, demonstrating the continuity between receiving the spiritual wisdom of the Torah and the receiving of the spiritual energy, the Holy Spirit, the divine presence. They make this link intentionally. And whether it happened on that day or not, we don't really know. But the writers were definitely trying to make this link. And these flames, sparks, or fiery letters above the disciples' heads metaphorically represent their internal awakenings, akin to a Kundalini energy uprising described in Eastern traditions, or a Shakhti descent of energy in the same traditions, where spiritual energy either rises up or descends down from the divine source, an illumination, a physical experience, a one that changes the mind and the understanding and the person. And if you've had either of those experiences, the Kundalini up or the Shakti down, or any kind of these illuminative experiences, please share it in the comments. Because part of what we're doing here in our Not Church community is bringing these experiences to the public square. Many people have had these awakenings and keep them private for fear of being judged. And I understand that. I kept my story private for decades. Yet the more we speak in the public square, the more we discover that 60% of the people have had some kind of mystical experience. And that's not my number. That's Marjorie Willicott. That's her research from IANS. 60% have after-death communication and mystical experience. And there's so many other types. There's so many kinds. So if you feel like you can, there's no pressure here, but if you feel like you can, please speak up. And at Pentecost, the disciples were filled with this sacred breath energy, enabling them to communicate in languages they had never spoken. So the story goes. Each listener understood the message clearly, regardless of their native language, highlighting how authentic spiritual experiences transcend cultural barriers and a vibration, a resonance, or an energy transmission between people. And this leads me to conclude that the languages they spoke were languages of the soul, the telepathic, direct energy communication, the Shaktipat of the beingness of God, rather than merely spoken words. And maybe there were spoken words that they understood each other. It's never happened since, but this energy transfer happens all the time. And this is why I think this. because it reflects how we experience the same soul energy language today that shines in and is visible to and experiential in our bodies, even if we don't speak the same verbal language. And at the IANS conference, the first time I went, it was like walking into a bubble of vibrant energy, like it was overpowering. And we experienced it in individuals, we experience it in groups. The language of the soul, the tongue of angels who communicate directly to our hearts, is the same tongue we hear in the peace, the presence, the joy, the warmth, the tingle that we know is at the center of our souls. We know because we experience. Now imagine the disciples conversing with gentle expressions of awe as listeners from diverse backgrounds smile knowingly, clearly grasping the heartfelt messages of divine love. Let those who have an ear to hear, hear. Jesus always said, it's the ear of the heart. This direct transmission of divine energy, this Shaktipat, resembles the profound universal connection and communication often experienced during near-death experiences and other kinds of mystical ecstasies, where we merge with infinite love and return transformed, imbued with deeper compassion and awareness and connection, understanding. Yeshua taught, I connect to Allah through the sacred breath, and you can too. We can, and we often do. And ultimately, Pentecost and mystical traditions everywhere encourage us to awaken deeply. They awaken us and leave this encouragement of pursuit. And they transcend our differences and connect us soul to soul, spirit to spirit, fully immersed in the universal flow of divine love. And this is what will change the world. Awakening to the divine love flow is the only thing that can save global society, which is why now is the time to speak up and share your mystical story of transformation in the public square or with trusted friends and family. This resonant vibration of light will save humanity and the world from ourselves. And the time is now. There are hundreds of millions of us. And we've had our own little Pentecosts. And that's my point this morning. It wasn't just for the disciples of Jesus. We've all had our own little Pentecost experiences where the Shaktipat, the Shakti has descended, or the Kundalini has awoken, or the Chi has magnified, or you've been touched by the divine, or you've had an angel visitation, or whatever it was that happened to you, and it left this resonance inside of you, this ability to recognize that which you already are. So now imagine this, a group of diverse people sitting quietly, smiling, each radiating gentle light, symbolizing unity, connection, and the awakened hearts. This is us. And it's not just us here in this little group. It's all of us around the world. Now's the time. Thanks for joining me this morning, live or by recording. Join us at Mystic Tea Salon Community on Sundays next at 11 a.m. Eastern Time at the top of the hour and about 11 minutes from now. To continue and expand our mystical conversations, it's Mystic Tea Salon Community is a crowdsourced wisdom. It's an open forum. You can come and lurk if you want to. We just have a conversation. It's crowdsourced wisdom born in the direct experience of the divine like Pentecost. And the Zoom link is in the description. Thank you so much for being supportive with your financial contributions. You make this possible. Find out more at peterpanagore.love. Before we go, I'm going to take a quick look over at the chat here. Where do I start? I'm not sure where to start. Wax on, wax off. I love that. Wax on, wax off. Let's see. KT signed up for the symposium this week, seminar. Ponder a soul. Ponder a soul's day must be one incarnation. Some of the first will be last. I've had several NDEs in my life. As I'm getting older, I reflect back into those experiences, and there was always a big event that happened, and I was very young and didn't realize how it works. You have to grow into it. NDE for me, it's like this gift that keeps on giving. I had this experience, you had these experiences, and the more I ponder them, as Robert loves to talk about pondering, the more we ponder our experiences, the more they teach us. And this is true not just of NDEs, but of all mystical transformative experiences. And we continue to learn. And how do we know how it works when when it happens to us? We can't. We just know that it did happen, and we learn as we go along. And I'm glad you're here, Ascending Leo, and Robert too. Let's see. Thoughts are a type of energy, and emotion is a type of frequency. Having those that the Father would approve of is required to enter the Father's kingdom. And so, what Robert's saying is that when we align with this vibration, this Pentecostal energy, that is the energy that leads us home and brings us to where we come from. Feels like home, says Wendy. Sure does. A warm, cold welcome over washing. Oh, that's beautiful. Wax on, wax off. The allowance of stillness, the light comes through, the path is clear. Stillness, a place close to the Father. Being enveloped in the heart of love, peace, life, energy, unspeakable infinity. Skipping down because I've got to get out of here soon. Let's see. The Holy Spirit moves through me regularly. We have a relationship when Spirit moves through me, and in me I feel goosebumps, tears, joy, comfort, and the knowledge that God is certainly real. God is certainly real. So many illuminating experiences, including multiple ones on Mary Magdalene's pilgrimages in France. And we're going to get to that. I hope that you're going to be wanting to talk about that stuff, Ellen. I hope so. I had a Kundalini experience happened during a Sadhguru free event on YouTube. I stay online for 3 days, and my experience rose up my back on the last day. I fully surrendered into it, and I cried. Wow, I'm going to scroll down a bunch, make sure I get everybody. Oh, solar eclipse energy. Is there a solar eclipse today? Maybe you guys are. That's cool. I didn't know that. All right, we're going to go to the bottom here, and then I'm going to take a little break, and I'll see you at Mystic Tea Salon, following the guidance of a yoga teacher, Nada Brahma Anda. I found myself literally levitating with a group of other devotees, chanting with love and focus. That's beautiful, Ed. It was truly a transformational moment. It's a beacon, says KT. All right. Martha, something about yesterday. Maybe it happened yesterday. Oh, the solar eclipse was yesterday. I'm planning to be here next week, but heading off to Egypt for a few weeks on a Sacred Feminine Temple tour. Oh, that's very cool. Neptune changes signs tomorrow. All right. Thank you, everybody. Peace and love to you all. Thanks for being here live and by recording. I'll see you at the top of the hour. The Zoom link is in the description, and I'll see you soon. See you there. Peace and love. Thank you.